Hi, I'm James and welcome to another review. This one is of Old Glory's Command Decision 15mm range and their modern British infantry. Now, for the review, I'm just reviewing the basic infantry pack. I will be looking in a future review at the support pack, or the command pack as it's called, which I have pulled a few figures from for this review. Now they come in bags of 50 figures, which is quite useful. It's not a bad number. There are 5 pauses and there are 10 of each, which isn't ideal. I'd have liked a few more LSWs, but that's what we've got. So when you look at the equipment and weapons of the figures, 4 of the figures are carrying the SA-80 rifle and 1 is carrying the LSW. Slightly under proportioned. I'd have liked a few more LSWs, but it was quite common, particularly in the first Gulf War, for LSW gunners when clearing trenches and buildings to leave the longer barrelled LSW behind in the Warrior and take an SA-80 instead. And there's a good reference to this in Neil Grant's Osprey book on the SA-80 series, which would actually give you some very nice Peter Dennis illustrations to help you paint the figures. Now, it does date the figures giving them that kit, because after the early days of Iraq and Afghanistan they did introduce new weapons, particularly the underslung grenade launcher and also the Minimi, the L110. So it's ideal for tail end of the Cold War through to early 2000s. Kit wise, they're wearing the Mark 6 helmet, usually distinguished by being plain. It does have bands, but you wouldn't see those at this scale. The later Mark 7 helmet usually had strips of camo material cut up and inserted into it. You could modify it into this scale and nobody would notice. Kit wise, they're wearing the standard PLC webbing, which was in infantry use from the whole time period that we're looking at. It was often substituted with purchased kit like chest rigs and so on. This scale, it's not going to be a particularly big point. They are carrying the respirator case as well, so that they are quite useful in a Cold War gone hot scenario. Some of them are in shirt sleeve order, with the sleeves rolled up, slightly too low down looking at it. If I had my sleeves rolled down like that, I know my Sergeant Major might be having a gentle word with me, because it should be above the elbows. Not all of them are, but it looks okay, and it does help if you are painting them up for desert use, I suppose. Some of the figures are wearing the rocket packs, or the day sacks, twin ones, including the LSW gunner where it's particularly appropriate, because they often would use that to help carry extra ammunition. Some of the figures do appear to have either hoods to the jackets, which would imply they're wearing the SAS or the cold weather smocks, or they could well be a chamois. It's rather hard to tell at this scale. And they all appear to be wearing body armour. Looking at it, I would say it looks like the combat body armour, which is right for the era, or possibly the INIBA, the Improved Northern Ireland body armour, which again would look very similar. It doesn't look like the later Osprey body armour. Now, looking at them compared to other manufacturers, you can see size wise they fit in. They're almost a perfect fit with Peter Pegg. I don't have any modern Battlefront figures. That's something I'm going to be rectifying in the future. But you can see that they are averagely sized, nicely proportioned, more realistic than heroic. Having said that, as far as I'm aware, they're the only actual range of Brits with SA-80s available, so you don't really have a lot of choice. While there was a little bit of flash on some of the figures and some visible mould lines, particularly across the helmet, they didn't take long to clean up and were quite simple to paint. If you want to find out how I do paint figures in camouflage, then I'll put a link in the description. so you can actually see how I did it. These were done, the whole platoon of 3 sections of 8 plus 2 attached gun teams and a command stand were painted in under an hour, so it is a fast paint system. There are some nice figures there. You will notice as you go through there are a few that we haven't seen earlier. There are figures, for example, using the Law 80, which is the anti-tank weapon, and the GPMG. Both of these come from the weapons pack, or command pack as it's called. There's also a very nice commander figure with a map, which I just had to pair with the pointing NCO type figure, because there is a well-known saying that in the British Army the most dangerous weapon we have is an officer with a map. Hope you found the review useful. Let me know what you think, and let me know what else you'd like me to review. See you for the next review soon.